Hey everybody, it's GauntletX, and welcome to the June 2024 Qualifier Weekend event. This is an event I'm literally overqualified for, but truthfully, I am horrendously underqualified this time around. I did qualify for the event twice over, both by cashing out in the first Outlaws at Thunder Junction Arena Open, and again by being top 250 Mythic in Draft last month. However, this is not a draft event like those. This is going to be a competitive best of 3 explorer event, and if you know anything about me or this channel, I basically never play constructed unless I'm forced to, like I am today. So if you're interested in watching a completely unqualified doofus stumble and misplay his way into as many gems as he can get, you've come to the right channel in general, but that is certainly the vibe of this particular video. If you want to see some high-level experience takes on the format from someone with a chance of winning the events, then this is definitely not the video for you. But now that we've got the whole disclaimer out of the way, let's show off the deck that we'll be running today. For this event, I'll be running a mono red wizards list that I got off an article by Reid over on Channel Fireball, so I'll have a link in the description below to that article if you are interested in this deck. This is a mono red aggro build with a very straightforward game plan, so it should be a bit easier than most decks to pick up without experience in the format. We're just going to be going for a classic aggro game plan, committing power to the board early with tons of one-drop creatures, jamming in for as much damage as we can while clearing a path for those creatures with our burn spells and our combat tricks, and once our opponent has the blockers or the removal to stabilize, we've hopefully gotten them low enough that we can finish them off with a few burn spells. I'm running this deck in particular because without knowing a lot of the decks and the meta game for a particular format, things can go really wrong in best of 3 when it comes to sideboarding, and thanks to Reid Duke's article on this mono red wizards build, he's got a full sideboard guide for a lot of the most prevalent decks in the meta game. That said, there's still a lot that can and will go wrong today in terms of gameplay, things that can be learned with experience like sequencing errors, threat assessment on what cards to burn off the board and when, what spot removal to play around or board wipes and when, and so forth. So I'm certainly not expecting to take down this event without any practice, but maybe with an explosive deck list like this, we can still get some lucky draws to win a round or two and leave this event with a few extra gems. Without further ado, let's cross our fingers and head into the gameplay. And here we are for game 1 of round 1 on the play, and this is exactly the kind of hand I like to see. Looks pretty simple, pretty straightforward to me. Let's keep this. I mean, I already see potential for sequencing errors. We have a haste prowess card here. Do we hit with haste immediately, or do we just Kumano faces Kakazan turn 1 to get the +1/+1 counter on the board as quickly as possible? If I Kumano turn 2, I still get the extra damage from a prowess trigger from Swift Spear, but if I Kumano turn 1, then I put a +1/+1 counter on the Swift Spear to haste that thing out. I don't know the correct sequence here, and I don't know the logic behind it, but I'm gonna start with Soulscar Mage, actually, because this way we can play Soulscar Mage into Monastery Swift Spear plus Kumano faces Kakazan and trigger prowess on both of those cards for 2 extra points of damage on our next swing. That makes enough sense to me to go for that as the curve, and then the Lava Runner can still get the +1/+1 counter, so we're not really losing on the second Kumano trigger there. That's probably the sequence, but we'll see. We are against the Gruul aggro version of this. So they're basically the same deck, but they get to run like Blossoming Defense to help protect their cards. And Slickshot Show Off is a strong enough card to definitely kill if we don't have lethal here, come to think of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13? Take 17 on the crackback. I think I put them to like 1 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, actually 14 because it comes with a counter from Kumano faces Kakazan. I can put them to 1, so if they don't kill me on the crackback, we win. I feel like I win even if I Wizard's Lightning the show off, more likely than not. We'll still put them to 4 life instead of 1 life. That's a pretty big difference in life total. But this card is explosive enough. I don't know about 17 damage turn 3, but who knows? I mean, they're going to have another creature with that. I think I'm going to put them to 4 here. I have to choose now. Because I'm out of time. Done. Yes, I'll take a haster. As you can see, the lack of experience already doing wonders for me. But we'll put them to 4 instead of 1. Probably could have figured out all those numbers much quicker. I did a little bit of practice. I feel like 4 life is still going to be easy enough with 5 creatures attacking next turn. And this way we aren't at any risk of randomly dying to show off going crazy with a couple monstrous rages and stuff. Alright, 3 blockers. They basically have to hold everybody up now, because we have 5 attackers. Okay. We've got trades with Etching. Lava Runner is also a 1-for-1 trade. I think we just send in here. We hit for 2. Put them dead to any burn spell off the top. And we only lose 1 creature. They have to lose 2 creatures to not die. Well, I mean, no, we only lose 1 creature without trading, is what I mean to say there. They could go to 1 life, kill the Lava Runner and the Etching. And they'd have 1 creature left if they do that. Or they could go to 0 and do that. Okay, chump there, and go for a couple free kills, go to 1. That's probably their best play, yeah. But obviously we are a burn deck, so we have a million top decks that just kill them now. There's a 3rd blocker. So they aren't dead on board. That is not a blocker, that Rimrock Knight, so they can't make any attacks here. There's the Ramunap Ruins, which does kill them if I hit 1 more mana. So now any land in the deck is also lethal, but we are not on a lethal attack here. They would eat this for free. Eat this for free chump there. That would be favorable for them, so we'll just put Gigant in hand and pass. Down in the Bugbear is also 1 mana from killing them there. 4 mana to turn it into a creature, but obviously if it's one of the 4 mana that I spend to do that, then we don't have the untapped den to attack with. Can probably kill them. And if not, we're still 1 land from killing them. Alright, cool. I think most of that was just being on the play. With how that played out in the end game, probably would have just been safer to just put them to 1. I mean, they would have just been dead for sure much sooner. I think I might have been a little over scared of the Slick Shot show off, but +2 for every spell. They would have had 3 mana up. Monstrous Rages are +3 apiece, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, plus another 6, like 15, 16? Probably 16 damage maximum off of a Slick Shot show off and 3 extra mana. They probably could not have lethaled me. They could have maybe dealt 16 if their hand was perfect. I think we should have just put them to 1. Anyways, mirror match. We drop the Monstrous Rages. This is according to Reid Duke. We drop the Monstrous Rages because they have tons of targeted burn to try to ruin them. And we run a couple Magebane Lizards. Sure. And a couple Case of the Crimson Pulse. So we can outdraw them in the late game, I guess. All right. I will do what the Reid tells me. Alright, this is a bit of a more awkward hand here. It's not like the perfect opener like last time. We only got the one creature in it, but that one creature can easily trigger these spectacles. And just get us a ton of card draw here, so I think we still just keep. Okay, Soul Scar Mage. I think on the draw, without great creatures, I just kill that immediately. And I can still play a Kumano plus Spectacle light up the stage next turn. Be mana efficient there. So Den's always the first land you should play. So Kenzen's always the last land you should play. So here's Kumano. Spectacle light up the stage. For some plays for next turn. Land. Alright, well. One of those lands is gone forever. Probably the Den of the Bugbear, because we likely want an untapped mana next turn. But here comes the Slick Shot Show Off. See how much damage it's going to slam in for. Just 3. Alright. Did draw a creature for Kumano Faces Kakuzan. I love that. Let's choose what land we play post-combat, because I might just be casting another light up the stage after attacking with this Swift Spear at this point. If they don't have Wizard's Lightning in their hand. They do not have Wizard's Lightning, so we do get to light up the stage, and then if there's nothing for 1 mana, we play Den, which comes in tapped. There is a Wizard's Lightning for 1. They could have Blossoming Defense here, but I feel like it's still likely worth a shot. We can save the Ruins because I can play that for my land next turn. So we play Mountain and we try to Lightning the show off here. Probably are holding up Blossoming Defense, but worst case scenario, it's better to do it now than do it during their next turn after they untap, because then show off hits for another 5. Oh, Swift Spear is not a wizard. Well, oops. I guess I should have just played Den of the Bugbear then. That's not the biggest miss in the world. It's probably not going to matter that we don't have 2 Den of the Bugbear on board, and I didn't have anything else to play for that 1 mana. Alright, good to learn that now, because it could have been really bad in the future. Alright, so we have a Reckless Impulse. We still have the Wizard's Lightning, but now they have 1,000,000 mana up. Again, if they want to use a combat trick to protect the show-off during our turn, that's so much better than them using it during theirs, though, so it still might be worth doing. I kind of want a Reckless Impulse here and try to hit a 1-mana Wizard, though. Which could be a little greedy, because we know that show-off could hit for 14. If they have a good hand, but I would have to spend my whole turn just on the Wizard's Lightning otherwise. Alright, we didn't hit a wizard, so this Wizard's Lightning is gone, but now we have the Play with Fire to try to use on the show-off. I could also Magebane Lizard, so when they cast multiple non-creatures in a row trying to buff the show-off, they take a bunch of damage for it. That's interesting, too. So Play with Fire tries to kill show-off, gets got by a combat trick, but I do Prowess for more damage here. Or I just Magebane, let it chill, and try to go for big damage next turn off the Play with Fire. I feel like they're so likely to save it here, I'm going to go for the Magebane. Oh god. Monstrous Rage, another show-off? Okay. I don't know, I suppose... Again, that idea that, like, making them use a combat trick on the show-off while it's tapped stops some damage is... It's a pretty nice idea. Double show-off probably just kills us now. We'll see. Okay, so there's the Monstrous Rage that they got off of the Druid. Let's see what they had in the hand, though. Did they have the combat trick to save the show-off? They did. Blossoming Defense. Okay. Well, that kills us here. So if I Play with Fire, they would have Blossoming Defensed in response and had less to use that turn. and then maybe not killed us. Depends on what that final card in their hand was there. So yeah, I think that was on me. Just threat assessment. Just always try to throw removal at show off, because the worst case scenario of them just spending a spell during your turn is so good. When it's particularly Blossoming Defense, if they had a Monstrous Rage in hand to get a monster roll onto it, make it a 3 toughness creature permanently, that would not be as good as costing them a Blossoming Defense, because the show off would still have that +1/+1 trample forever, but still, it was specifically Blossoming Defense there, where it would have been really good to just make them use that on a tapped show off. So yeah, had we done that instead, they would still have had double show off here, so they still would have put us really low. And we would have to try to find lethal on this next turn, but 9 life would have been possible, for sure. Especially when we could go land Den of the Bugbear attack. Yeah, that's on us. Again, we're already sideboarded for the matchup, so we just run right back in there. Great hand here. This is the same curve as game 1, so now that we know the solid curve, we stick to that, which is Mage into Swift Spear and Kumano Faces Kakusan in the same turn for the double prowess trigger. See, this turn one we got to play way quicker, because now we had 1 turn of experience with basically the same opening hand, and so that helps us out. Who knew playing a deck can let you be better at the deck in the future? Let's jam for 4. We're gonna have a non-hasty Lava Runner, but it'll still have that permanent +1/+1 counter, which will be nice. Ooh, we love Carplucent Forest. We love that when we're aggro. Burning Hands, 2 damage. Alright. I guess they just sideboarded in a ton of burn if they're throwing in Burning Hands, because we're obviously not green, so it's just 2 mana, 2 damage. The sequence here doesn't matter. I guess unless I want to light up the stage this turn, but I don't think I do. I guess because we didn't hit a land drop this turn, we could have went Kumano Faces Kakusan to shoot them for 1, light up the stage. That's double prowess for Swift Spear before we declare the attack, and then if light up the stage does hit a land, we still get to play a Lava Runner and get the counter on it. That would have been reasonable. A little bit of a gamble, but reasonable. Play with Fire the Soulscar Mage, force them to use a trick pre-blocks? I don't think so. I think we just want them... They've got 1 mana up here. That could be so many different spells. We want to ruin their prowess trigger with Play with Fire when they try to kill something. And then light up the stage post-combat. I could Play with Fire the face and light up the stage, but plays poorly against just like 1 Play with Fire from them. Alright, that's pretty much what we expected. That's actually better than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a burn spell, so they get to like kill an etching and try to block the Lava Runner here, but it's just a combat trick, so they don't even get to kill anything. We get a nice 2-for-1, and then we get to light up the stage, looking for mana. We did find mana. Let's play the tapped Den, right? Yeah, because we don't need an untapped source. And then we play the untapped Ruins next turn. We have 4 creatures on board. We're looking good. Monastery Swift Spear. Slick Shot Show Off. Exile some cards with the Questing Druid. They have 2 blockers up at 8 life. And they're already done. They just scoop it up right there, and we win our first round 2-1. Now, it was very close to a mirror match, so I'm not going to lie and say that that was much more than just being super lucky. It was basically just the luck of being on the play in the red-based aggro mirror. I feel like whoever gets to be on the play for 2 out of the 3 games is the most likely to win the mirror match, and we got to be on the play 2 out of the 3 games. However, I do feel like maybe a little bit of this was that our deck seems to have a solid matchup against the green version. Because I think game 2 was winnable as well if I knew how to play the deck right, if we made the right plays. And we did just try to play with Fire or Wizard's Lightning to tap show off, force them to use a combat trick while it's tapped. So yeah, I think the red-green version of this deck is very, very focused up on prowess with, show off and Swift Spear and stuff. So they do run a lot of the combat tricky stuff like the Blossoming Defenses, like the Monstrous Rages, and much like Reid points out in the sideboard guide of wanting to cut your own Monstrous Rages in the mirror match because of the amount of cheap burn spells you have to kind of ruin that prowessy nonsense. We just have the cheap burn spells to sort of ruin some of their prowessy nonsense if we have them at the right time. So I feel like it was probably just a pretty lucky matchup in general. It was like a solid matchup, and we were on the play, and we had good hands every time. So we'll take it, though. Get a few extra gems as we head into round 2. All right, here we are for round 2. Lucky enough to be on the play again. Unfortunately, this is a creatureless hand, and one of the few tips I got out of Reid Duke's guide is that he would mulligan nearly every hand without a creature in game 1 against an unknown deck. We got to make sure that we get a threat onto the board. If we know that we're playing against a creature deck, he says it's fine to keep a burn heavy hand, but we have no threat of our own here. It's entirely burn spells for interaction against a creature heavy deck. We take the mulligan and make sure we have a creature, and there it is, Monastery Swift Spear. Obviously ditching a land here. Lunarch Veteran, all right. So this is a Rampaging Ferocidon matchup for sure. I guess we jam in, and if we get to hit, then we light up the stage. If we don't get to hit, then we impulse. Cool. Wizard's Lightning, play with fire. Well, neither of those are particularly good against a Lunarch Veteran, because it just comes back from grave. I guess they have to spend 2 mana to do it, and then they only have a 1/1 on board, and they don't gain any life off its ability. Suppose I hold this up. So this is probably... I have no idea what this is. I don't know the format. Like green-white angels, or is this Amalia? Because Amalia is like green-white-black, right? I don't think we care about the damage. I'm pretty sure there's like a green-white angel deck. Okay, this is probably Amalia, because it's green-white-black, but I don't know what the Amalia combo is. Okay, so that gives them a treasure no matter what, and whenever a creature enters the battlefield, they gain 1. So it's the same thing as Lunarch Veteran, except it can't come back from grave, but if it resolves, they gain a life from the Veteran. So I'm just going to kill the Veteran in response so they don't gain the 1 life. Monstrous Rage. Sure. Really wanting to find a wizard here. How many 2-mana wizards do we have? We have 4 Slick Shot Show-Offs as 2-mana wizards. But we have 4 of the Soul Scar Mage and 4 of the Lava Runner thingy. 1-mana wizards. I don't know, I like going for the Monstrous Rage here. It's such a big hit of damage. I guess... Oh no, I'm so dumb. Oh no. I was gonna say, I guess the thing is, if we hit a 2-mana wizard, we just can't play Wizard's Lightning. But if we hit a 1-mana wizard and we didn't play Monstrous Rage, we could play Wizard's Lightning here. So this is like, by spending the roll thingy, we don't get to play Wizard's Lightning. Yeah, that was wrong. That was wrong. Because if we had hit any of the 1-mana wizards, the only way to get the full value from the light up the stage was to have double red up afterward. There's Amalia. So how does this thing work? Whenever you gain life, explore. They're going to do it twice. And there's something that does it like infinitely. Yeah, the Court of Calling can find something that does it infinitely. And I just can't get past Amalia. So we just hold Play with Fire at all costs in this kind of matchup. And then just Play with Fire, pay the ward on Amalia whenever she shows up, just never kill anything else. God, how do we win this matchup? Because if I have to constantly save removal for Amalia, I don't get to get through all this life gain. I guess it's 100% like Rampaging Ferocidon or Bust kind of match. Kind of feels like where it is. Oop. There's a late Play with Fire. Alright, I've already got one Soul Scar Mage on board, so we're already doing the minus counter thing here. They can't block with Amalia because they know we have a Play with Fire. But also the Play with Fire is not going to stop all their life gain shenanigans, and they probably do the infinite thing and pop off on us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We can put them to 3 to send a message. Or we can, like, clear out Innkeeper or Veteran. So if they don't have whatever infinite there is, they gain less. I don't know. I don't even know what the combo is. I don't know what they're gonna do, but let's just see. If they gain 0 life, Raven Up Ruins will kill them. Cool. But that's never gonna happen. Let's just use this as a learning moment. Let's see what on earth Amalia does. It's the Wild Growth Walker, right? So when they gain life, she explores, and the Wild Growth gains life whenever they explore. Yeah, so Court of Calling into the Wild Growth Walker, sure. And they could have done that even if I killed one of those 2 creatures. They would just tap Amalia as well. Yeah, and now they're infinite. They gain as much life as they want. Have a 20 power Amalia. Destroy everything else on board. Destroy all other creatures. Yeah. Okay. And if you ever wanted proof that I never play Constructed, this is the first time I've ever seen this happen in my life. I think I'd heard about it before. Well, we did end up getting them down to 2 life, so maybe in a perfect world we could have won this game? Probably not though, right? Because if they were at enough risk, they always could have chomped some of that damage. Probably still gotten to the combo. Like, they have an untapped mana confluence here. They didn't need all that to convoke the chord and get the combo going. Like, if I held Play with Fire at all costs, that's something. Okay, so -3 Skewer, -4 Lava Runner, -1 Impulse is the sideboard guide. +4 Rampaging Ferocidon. That one seems obvious. That shuts off the life gains. They just cannot combo. Plus damaging them when they play the creatures is big. +2 Rending Volley. Can't be countered. Deals 4 to a wider blue creature. That's great. Okay, so we don't even have to pay the ward. Not that it really matters. We can pay 3 life. This is not a life total focused matchup. It's just if they do the thing, we die. And then 2 Witch Stalker Frenzy. So like B fee removal that may be able to kill an Amalia even after a counter or 2. Or B fee removal that can kill a chunky wild growth walker, I guess. Makes sense. Makes sense. Reid also said we could cut a land on the draw, but we're on the play here because we lost, so we'll roll for it. Here comes their sideboard tools of just everything that kills a rampaging Ferocidon. Play first for sure. One lander with the 3-drop Ferocidon. We can't keep that on the play. Maybe not even on the draw. It's also 5 creatures and 3 of them are show-offs, which is really awkward for their abilities. Yeah, that... Like, Mono Red's one of the few decks that can sometimes keep 1-landers, but this is not one we can. Fairly sure. I got really scared there when it put it in my hand. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I clicked the mulligan button. Alright. I'm just going to Kumano turn 1 when there's only one other creature in our hand to get the permanent +1/+1 counter onto, instead of going for the prowess. Cool, double Monstrous Rage, okay. I mean, we've got no real interaction for Amalia here. We're just going full damage and trying to kill them by being on the play. So I'm going to tap out and not even hold up Play with Fire here, because if they cast an Amalia, they have no mana up to do anything else, and I can just kill her next turn, so they're never going to do that. Do a little math here in case they play in a way where we can just jam with everybody. Never mind, there goes Play with Fire. So they get rid of Play with Fire, now we have no interaction. If they have the combo, they win. All we can do here is just hit for as much damage as possible, which we will obviously do. Make sure both our creatures have trample, though. For the future, right? Yeah. Just make sure everybody's got trample. They're down to 3, and we've got 2 trampling threats. Depends on the top decks, but we'll see. We have to play the land here because we could always hit like a light up the stage where we'd want to light up the stage, hit a land, and cast a 1-drop burn spell. No way we can hold on to a land this early to pretend we have a burn spell. Amalia. Gain 1, explore 1. They're at 3, that's dead on board. There's a mana confluence. I mean, we go for it, right? 1 mana to not die here? Show me what it is. One mana removal for a 3/4? Could happen in this format. Oh, it's another Tamiya safekeeping. Yeah, which gains them the life here. No, and the Wild Growth Walker on top? Wait, they mill it? Oh, because they're at 1 life, so they can't cast it. Anyway. Maybe there is an argument to pretend I have a burn spell they can't respond to. No, because I would have cast it right now, and they would know that. They're tapped out. If I had burn to kill them, I would play it. Yeah. They 100% would know. If I had burn, I would have done it. Yeah, they had to pay a life to play the Wild Growth Walker, so they get rid of it. Wait, no, they would have won, because they have Deep Cavern Bat. They would hit us with Deep Cavern Bat to gain 1, to be at 2, then they play the Wild Growth, but then they would have already done the life gain trigger for Amalia, so the combo wouldn't start post-combat. They have to gain 1 life to start the Wild Growth Walker Amalia combo. And because of mana confluence, they would have to gain the life before they play the Wild Growth Walker to have the green source up. Unless they explored into the green source like they just did there. But they wouldn't have done that if they kept Wild Growth Walker on top. Because then whatever they drew as their card for turn would have been on top instead of Razor Verge Thicket. Plus it comes to play tapped, which I didn't even realize. Okay, we have many cards that will kill them. But we have to draw one of them. My fingers are so crossed right now. Maybe they already have a different Wild Growth Walker in their hand. That would be another explanation for that. Because again, they can like post-combat it onto the board, but then they can't get the combo started here. Because they can only afford to tap one mana Confluence this turn. So they could tap one towards a Walker. But yeah, now they can't tap the other mana Confluence, they just have the treasure mana, and we are just flood over here. So if they have the other Wild Growth Walker or a Chord of Calling, they win. And there you go. What a bummer. That game looked incredibly winnable, but we just drew straight into the loss on that one. Alright. I feel like game ones in this matchup are super, super unfavored. But having Ferocidons out of the sideboard is nice in the future. It still seems like a pretty rough matchup for red decks, obviously. The triple land when like any burn spell kills them though was such a sad ending to that one. But it is what it is. 1-1 heading into game 3. Alright, here we are for another some kind of mirror match probably. Our opponent has Giganta. Although I assume there's probably other non-mono red decks that run Giganta. Or non-red based aggro decks. This is a little high on mana. Maybe it's high enough on mana we're supposed to mulligan? I don't know, I like the Soul Scar Mage that's got a threat to start things off. Just hit for 5 with Monstrous Rage. Turn 2. It's exciting. Plus 1 mana Wizard Lightning is a thing. Although I guess since we're probably against red, seeing Giganta from them, they could always just have the Play with Fire to shoot the Soul Scar Mage, and then the start's actually pretty bad. So maybe taking that into account, that they're likely on a red deck with Giganta as the companion, maybe that leads more towards a mulligan because the hand does go pretty poorly against one cheap burn spell. Luckily, they don't go for one cheap burn spell, they just go for Kumano Faces Kakazan. And now we are jamming here. Feel like we hold on to Wizard's Lightning rather than just shooting their face with it for 1 extra prowess hit. Because it's a creature-based matchup where Wizard's Lightning is going to be pretty great removal as well. I mean, maybe because the Lava Runner gets haste, if there's also a Lightning in our grave, we're also just supposed to hold it up. That's probably the case, right? Because the only reason we would need to play Lava Runner right now instead of next turn would be if there aren't going to be 2 instants and sorceries in our grave next turn. But I guess there won't be. Right? Because now it would be Wizard's Lightning in the face. Hit for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Put them to 7 life. They're on 1 mana? I mean, I've got double Rabanap for another 4 damage to them, and they're a red deck, so they have no life gain. I don't know about this. But I'm going to cash in for damage here. Even though it's a creature-based matchup where I could Lightning one of their cards, like an Etching. I think they took a mulligan here, which would make a little more sense why they kept the 1-lander with the Dream here. There they go, found a Swift Spear to make their blocks significantly better. So eat that. We could just go bounce and trade. Or they eat that and chump. So basically either way, if I attack with both, I lose Lava Runner and they lose Etching. I don't think we make any attacks unless we draw a spell then, so we just play a land towards Ramanap Ruins. Do I play Den of the Bugbear here? They're going to have at least 3 blockers up, so I don't even think Den's going to be a super good attacker next turn anyway. But am I going to want to Ruins them for 2 right now? Well, I can't anyway, right? I need 5 mana, 4 untapped plus Tapper Ruins. Yeah, so since I can't do that anyway, we use the Den and Gigantha and pass. I believe this is the red-green deck again, because they have a pathway. So more targeted removal to stop their monstrous rage. Blossoming defense nonsense. Seems good for the matchup. Or just holding on to that targeted removal. Getting rid of our own monstrous rages to play around there. Cheap burn. Big, bold moves from our opponent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 8, 9, 10 here. There's no way they can find lethal, and then we're quite likely to find a big counterattack. I can hit for 6 on board. Shoot. So Den of the Bugbear and Soulscar Mage hit for 6. And 11 now. They crack back for 2, 4, 5, 6 on board. Den makes an attacking 1/1. If I hit for 4 with Den, they are still not dead to a Ramanap Ruins. I would have to hit with everybody and hold no blockers up, because I can't choose not to attack with the 1/1 Goblin. And if I hold no blocks up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, they play a land and double burn me, I'm dead. They monstrous rage me, I'm dead. I think... They don't run Wizard's Lightning in the red-green version. So they a 3 toughness creature should be somewhat hard for them to kill, where the only thing they really have for 1 mana would be Witchstalker Frenzy. So unless they go land, Witchstalker Frenzy, Combat Trick, they don't kill me on the crackback if I just send in the Den. And then I have 4 attacking creatures next turn, maybe? So that I can get for like 1 damage with one of those, and then also just crack a Ramanap. Okay. That's the only way we die here, is if they did hit land, and they did hit land, so we might die here. It is Witchstalker Frenzy plus, or Witchstalker Frenzy plus 1 mana trick. Wow. Alright. You got me. Well played on that one. Alright, let's drop the monstrous rages for the random nonsense. Again. Just because the cheap interaction is very strong against the monstrous rage. Although, you know what? Because they're on Gruul and not mono red, they don't have as much when it comes to cheap burn spells. Right, they have the 4 play with fire, but they don't have like the Wizard's Lightning stuff as well. They've got Witchstalker Frenzies. Oh, wait, that's true. Witchstalker Frenzies can be used on the defensive as well. So yeah, I feel like this is fine. So like if I attack them with 3 creatures and then try to monstrous rage, they can Witchstalker Frenzy for 1. Yeah, sure. I'll just still roll with the mono red sideboard list. We'll drop all the monstrous rages. Again, it seems like the kind of thing where it's less because the cards we're bringing in are particularly good and more because the monstrous rage can be awkward. But I don't know for sure. I just trust Reid Duke more than myself. All right, here we are on the play for game 2. Let's get rolling. Mono faces Kakazan. Soul Scar Mage, another one of those. We'll just play a show off here. Do we plot it? Do play around their own? Specifically just play with fire. That's the only card they could have for 1 mana to deal with it. They could have like sided in some of those pick your poisons and Chandra's defeats as well to kill red creatures. I'm gonna hit for 1 less damage and plot the show off. I believe that is what you do against any matchup where there's a lot of spot removal, and even though they're on the red-green version, I still feel like red matchups is just there are tons of burn spells to use. I mean, I guess we're not even setting up a particularly explosive turn with it, though. It's just going to be a 3 damage swing that they'd be negating by killing it. Oh, we could draw into something crazy. Just like a single play with fire makes it a really explosive turn. You play plus skewer. Attack for like 5 with the show off. Just could do both of those pre-combat. Yeah. I don't know. That is the theme of today's video. I don't know. Alright, well, if I had instant speed removal to kill that Soul Scar Mage, I would be so happy. If we had like a Wizard's Lightning here, the problem is we have a sorcery speed removal spell with Skewer the Critics that they could respond to at any time with their trick to save the Soul Scar Mage, which means we have no good attacks here. We can plop a show off on the board, plop down a Case of the Crimson Pulse, watch it die. But we definitely can't kill their Soul Scar Mage with just a Skewer the Critics. Because they respond with anything, even just removal to kill our own creature, and we're stuck. Yeah, this is actually a really awkward hand for right now, which means I think we have to case to just draw into other stuff that works better for this position. Keep another show off here. I don't mind keeping another Soul Scar Mage, but I think if they have target removal, they're going to kill the first show off. I'm going to get rid of the Soul Scar Mage. Okay, cheap spells are great with the show offs. So let's see, 1 mana burn for the show off. Prowess the Mage, yep. Very good. I guess I could have kept the 1-drop creature over the show off just to make it a little easier to dump the whole hand to try to actually solve the case. Definitely an option there too. Okay, here's the show off. They tap out though? They do tap out, but we take a really significant amount of damage. Oh boy. I can't play with fire and Skewer the Critics here. I can only do one or the other. So I'm pretty sure I just play with fire the show off. Like I could gamble and hit them with our show off so that we can try to light up a stage, hit a land, and play with fire in the same turn, but it feels so much safer to just play with fire their show off. And I don't even know how good holding up a blocker is here. They've got 1 card left, but if it's any combat trick, then a Soul Scar Mage on blocks doesn't do anything anyway. I think it's just kill their show off as their most explosive threat. And we don't try to block here. Take 4 on the crackback if they have nothing, and if they had anything, we couldn't block anyway. At least not profitably. Land. Giganta to hand. Okay. Monoface's Kakazan triggers show off. It also gets Spectacle going for light up the stage and skewer. It's actually a huge draw. We can try to skewer their Soul Scar Mage. If they don't specifically have Blossoming Defense, then by playing our Soul Scar Mage, we can make sure theirs still gets turned into a tiny creature. If they have exactly Blossoming Defense, it's better to light up and skewer here. But if it's anything else here for 1 mana, it's better to Soul Scar Mage and skewer. Like if it's Monstrous Rage. I mean, I guess if it's like another play with fire, they just kill our Soul Scar Mage in response, but then theirs still dies. No, it doesn't still die, because they would have the Prowess trigger. This is awkward. I think I was actually supposed to Soul Scar Mage, then Kumano Faces Kakazan, so this has the Prowess to not die to a play with fire, and then skewer their Mage, so they can't like play with fire mine to save theirs. Okay, it's basically exactly Blossoming Defense, so that would be where we would have just wanted to light up the stage. We knew that. Okay, we're at 7 and they're playing off the top here. They're at 8. Yep, send in. I think we have to chomp at this rate. 5. But it's real easy to die here. If we just let it in, any burn spell kills us. It's a Den, which super kills us next turn. We need these light up the stages to be like perfect, pretty much. Which means I have to attack with show off to use them. We're attacking with 4 creatures next turn. Well, I mean, lands aren't bad if we hit spells with them. Let's see if we hit spells with them. That is just how these last few games have gone, isn't it? That's very dead on board. All right. 1 and 2. Here we are for round 4. This is a very explosive show-off hand. This Mutavolt looks super awkward, actually. Colorless mana looks quite bad here. Harder to cast more spells alongside the show-off in the future. And looks like another Amalia matchup, which, again, I don't know anything about the format, but seems like a real bad matchup for burn. Do I play with Fire the Savior? Just so they don't save the Amalia later? Probably not. Probably still play my threats first. I can play with Fire it on a future turn just as easily. And actually get Prowess triggers while I do it. Yep, that's green, white, black. That's bold. That's a bold move right there. What do they have, double Amalia in hand? They try to save Amalia with this Selfless Savior. This is going to be horrible for them, actually. I just realized the Indestructible doesn't matter, because Soul Scar gives -1s right now. Soul Scar Mage is actually so good against Selfless Savior. Hold the phone. That is the sickest. I feel like we insta-kill Amalia. Obviously, we could try to go for bigger Slick Shot show-off damage later, but I'm just going to insta-kill Amalia. I might hold the Rage for bigger show-off damage later. Nah. I'm just going to maximize output here. Insta-pressure. I guess since we'd be holding up another Play with Fire, might maybe be fine. There's an innkeeper, sure. Wild Growth Walker, alright. I mean, if they drop an Amalia, we respond with a Play with Fire, so we just need to hold one red up for the rest of the game. Unless this Wild Growth Walker dies during combat, and then we don't need to do that. It's pretty fine. So I can Mutavault here, show off and hold the red up, probably. Overgrown Tomb. Poke for 2. We're down to 14. They pass the turn. Swift Spear. I can Swift Spear and Lava Runner and still hold up Play with Fire. I do have to shoot myself to cast the Play with Fire, but I'm pretty sure we're winning that race anyway. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage, 10 damage if I Play with Fire, right? 2 to put them to 10, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, they're not dead if I Play with Fire their face here. So I could just Play with Fire the Walker, but I could also just let it all in. I feel like I Play with Fire the Walker here, because if they top deck an Amalia, like... Well, hold up. If I Play with Fire the Walker, they could save it with Savior, and then play an Amalia next turn. With this Innkeeper on board, that would do the 3-card combo. I guess I just let it happen. Might be overly safe, though, to where I'm missing out on lethal next turn by playing this way. Okay, that's 1 Explorer for big life gain off of Wild Growth Walker. But again, I couldn't have killed it. I could put 2 -1/-1 counters on it, but they could still have saved it with Indestructible with Savior. So it would have still been around to gain the life this turn. Oh boy, it's 3 life too. On that one. Pretty huge. Alright, they just pass. They are playing it safe from here. Bunch of 1/1s. The only creature that really matters is the Wild Growth Walker. So they kill one of our creatures with a Wild Growth Walker and then take a bunch or trump a bunch. I think we still send with everybody. Despite the fact that I don't want to use Play with Fire. But maybe it's only show off here. That is super chill with me. We don't lose any creatures with this arrangement. Now they might as well, yeah. Oh. If their hand is like exactly Wild Growth Walker and they top deck Amalia, or exactly Amalia and they top deck Wild Growth Walker, I guess this is good. Maybe they also run that thing that reanimates 2 creatures and then they bring both back and destroy me. But I don't know, I haven't seen it yet, so we'll find out if they do. But now they don't Indestructible the Walker, so I'm just going to kill that. Skyclave Apparition is the play. Okay, I'm looking up Amalia deck lists, and it looks like they do run the things that can reanimate 2 creatures from grave, which is terrifying. I guess in the future I would hold the play with ranks, or the play with ranks, the play with fire. I mixed up the name of the thing that returns 2 cards and my removal spell. Return to the ranks can return multiple creatures from their grave to the battlefield. Same with the Lively Dirge. It looks like some Amalia decks run. Yeah, even without the combo, it takes so long to kill them that they get so much time to draw into it because they're just like a life gain deck in general. Our attacks are all good except the 1/2 because we don't have the prowess for it. But I could threaten the prowess. If they call me on that bluff and eat my Swift Spear for free, it's pretty bad though. I'll hit for 1 less damage. I have one issue with playing Giganta here, and it's that if I play Giganta, they know that I don't have any instance being burned to stop their combo. But I feel like if they draw into the combo, they have to go for it no matter what. At this point of the game. Because, like, if I just pass here and I have 5 untapped mana, then they know if I have a 1 red mana burn spell that can disrupt the combo, I'm never gonna not have the mana up for that. So they have to just go for it, whether or not I have the burn in hand. So revealing that I don't have it in hand isn't really a downside here, because they're just gonna go for the combo if they have the combo. So there we go. All cards on the table. Do you have it? There's Wild Growth Walker. Is it off the natural draws too here? No, okay. The Lava Runner. We start jamming in a 5/5. Jam in a Lava Runner as well. Get double block there. Do I save a shoot for 2 or do I attack with a Mutavault? I could go for another, just go for a shoot for 2 here. So they chump with a 1/1, Lava Runner kills the other 1/1. And then they have to draw like Lively Dirge or Return to the Ranks to pick up Innkeeper plus Amalia as their only out to combo us. Oh, or they could just bounce and not kill Lava Runner. That's fair too. Lunarch Veteran, that's a significant roadblock. Gains life when they play it. It can come back from the grave and gain another 2 life. And when it comes back from the grave, it's a flying blocker. Ooh, Monstrous Rage might just be the kill. I don't have the mana to Monstrous Rage and Ramanap Ruins, but I do have the mana to do it in Mutavaults. Alright, math is for blockers, but I'm fairly certain this is lethal. Yeah, well over lethal. Lucky game there, because they had the life gain to really grind it out and stay alive for a long time looking for those outs. And they just did not find all the pieces of the combo together. Having the Soul Scar Mage as well in the early game was so valuable against the Amalia. Alright, here we are on the draw for game 2 of our round against Amalia combo. The revenge match, the grunge match, where we're going to try to win this one. Only 1 creature in hand for the Kumano again, so we'll play the Kumano turn 1 to put the counter on the 1 creature we have, I think. Yep, makes sense to me. The Apparition's pretty good against our deck, turning any of our creatures into just a 1/1 with no abilities anymore. Even if I kill the Apparition is pretty good. And obviously if I don't kill the Apparition, the creature's just gone. Hello, Ferocidon. So we really want to draw lands now that we have a Ferocidon available. Is it to the point that I Swift Spear into Light Up the Stage, tapping out of a Play with Fire? I mean, unless they have both Amalia and Wild Growth Walker in their hand, I don't think they combo us next turn. Because they go land and they have 4 mana. 2 for Amalia, 2 for Wild Growth. They have the Innkeeper on board to start that combo. Otherwise, like, the Cord costs too much mana, I think. They could cast Amalia for 2, and then Cord would be 1, 2, 3. They could Cord for... No, they could Cord for 2. So Cord of Calling in one of the 2 pieces works as well. Yeah, there's actually a lot of ways they could already combo off, so I guess we have to hold up Play with Fire? It's rough. I mean, maybe we don't have to... But I feel like I could, like, light up the stage putting the shields down for a turn, and then just have them combo off on me before I even get the combo stopper anyway. This way I am really praying for the top deck land for Ferocidon, but if I don't hit it, if they don't combo me off this turn, I still have that Play with Fire to stop me from comboing off, or to stop them from comboing off next turn. Okay, there's the Walker. Pass turn. Court of Calling's instant speed, isn't it? Yeah, and they could instant speed out an Amalia here, so we have to hold up a red at all times, which means I can't Ferocidon or they respond with Amalia combo. I did hit the mana for the Ferocidon, which is definitely appealing, but we're not there right now. I think I have to play a land pre-combat, even though I'm probably going to light up the stage here. Just so I can Monstrous Rage, still have Play with Fire or Witchstalker Frenzy. Right, this way I could Witchstalker Frenzy and then still like Monstrous Rage or something, stuff like that. It opens up a lot more options. I'm probably going to do nothing and then light up the stage holding up Play with Fire. But it depends how they block. Alright, well, we Monstrous Rage on that. Forces their hand for the Court of Calling or something here. There we go. I could Witchstalker Frenzy the Walker before Amalia hits the board. But I'm going to kill the Amalia instead so they don't do any of that nonsense. I mean, like, either way's fine, I guess. Is this way I kill both of them this way? Instead of just, like, Witchstalkering the already blocking thing. And I don't have enough mana to stop them from calling off next turn now, so I might as well draw 2. If they have the recur 2 things, then they win. But I don't have the mana left after all that to kill another creature. We killed a Wild Growth Walker and an Amalia. I think that's good for now. But I guess maybe when they have the cards to recur them, it's safer to only kill one of the 2. The problem is one of the cards to recur them is Lively Dirge, which tutors out the other one anyway. Actually, no, it isn't safer to just kill one of the 2, because if I only kill one of the 2, they only need to reanimate one of the 2 anyway, because the other one's still around and ready to do the thing. Alright. Now that Apparition's out of there, Ferocidon might keep them locked off the combo. Ferocidon is not a wizard, though, so if I play Ferocidon now, then these cards I got off Light Up the Stage, both the Wizard's Lighting and the Witchstalker Frenzy, are just gone forever. I mean, I guess we'll see if they open up a block where casting one of these is really good, but they probably won't, because they are revealed to our opponent. Yeah. I guess those are gone forever. I'm just gonna Ferocidon. Now they have to kill Ferocidon and get both of their combo pieces. Goodbye, Witch Stalker Frenzy. They take 2 for every creature they play. I feel like they probably don't have like board wipes in the sideboard or anything in the general deck, right? Probably just like 1-for-1 removal to kill one of these things is the plan. Yeah, the general build that I'm looking at on MTG Goldfish does not have any board wipes. Yeah. Every creature they play shoots them for 2 now. They do poke me for 1 a turn with Deep Cavern Bat. There's a Rending Volley. Pretty good. White or blue creatures, right? Yeah, so it's all about killing Amalia, but we can also kill an Apparition with it since I have double Ferocidon on board to stop Amalia from comboing. Even if Amalia can't combo, she can get a good amount of value. Wait, no, she's the one that only explores when they gain life. Yeah, so she doesn't actually do anything right now, but the Wild Growth Walker could still get pretty big as a blocker. But I obviously can't kill Wild Growth with the volley. Okay. They can double block and kill a Ferocidon if they double block it with Scout and Innkeeper here. They block with an Apparition, I can ruin that block. This is a lot of damage. I think it's worth sacking a Ferocidon to hit for 6, I believe. 3 from Swift Spear and 3 from the other Ferocidon, plus we would like wipe the board. And I could just hold on to the Rending Volley to stop the combo. That way if they do like do a double block to kill a Ferocidon, then try to like spot removal the other one and combo off, we still have the backup volley. And then I just hit for 5 here, which is still decent. I was really not expecting that block, but that is the one block that I was thinking of when I declared this attack. Of like, that would just be a blowout. But I was also like, well, they'd never block like that, right? When they just go Scout and Innkeeper. Because if both the Ferocidons die, they can still just poke me for 1 lifelink with Deep Cavern Bat to start the Amalia combo, if they have the 2 pieces to it. They don't need the Innkeeper to start the Amalia combo when they have Bat on board. Oh, they might try to just race as well. Because I have to shoot myself for 2 every time I play a creature. That's another option they have. We just beat each other down. It would be a really hard race for them, though, against multiple menace creatures. Okay. If they do go through with this block, because I am considering that they probably only have spot removal, I think it is safe to throw a Rending Volley out here. Because we have 2 different Ferocidons stopping them from coming off. They need to have 2 removal spells and the combo starter. And the reanimate 2 things spell. I mean, I guess 1 removal spell plus reanimate. Oh my god, they can't reanimate. Oh my god, that's so relevant. How did that happen? Oh, because I had a Kumano, an etching of Kumano on board? That's so good. We actually exiled both of the pieces? That's so... I didn't even notice. That's so lucky. That's wild. That's actually really relevant to know in the future. Their reanimation spells are just jank. Well, Lively Dirge still does it, because it can tutor both of the pieces. But Return to the Ranks can't. Okay, I've got 2 Ferocidons, so... They can't combo me here, but they can Apparition 1 of the Ferocidons? Oh, but they die to do it. Never mind. They take 4 to do it. That's so gross. Frostodon is so good in this matchup. That's sick. All right, we got our revenge. We won against the Amalia life gain combo deck with mono red burn. I'll take it. We're 2-2 now. That makes me happy. Whatever happens from here, we got revenge against one of the decks that absolutely destroyed us for our first loss. And no matter what, we're leaving this event with at least 2,000 gems towards some more drafts, the format that I actually do enjoy playing 365 days a year. All right, here we are on the draw for Game 5. The hand looks pretty excellent. We got the Mage into Swift Spear Kumano turn. Oh, there's the Thoughtseize. So they're on Rakdos. They could be on mid-range or vampires or who knows. Sacrifice. A lot of Rakdos stuff you can do. All right, they got rid of the show-off, which still leaves the Mage into Swift Spear Kumano turn. But then we don't get a permanent counter off of Kumano if I don't draw another creature. I'm still going to take that gamble. Fatal Push. Well, that gamble blows up. They are Rakdos vampires. Well, now I've got another creature to play with the Kumano thing, so that's nice. So we can get a counter onto our other Swift Spear. So this is another matchup that's kind of scary because they have the Sorin that can cheat out a Vein Ripper, which is a big 6/5 flyer that like drains us for 2 life and more importantly gains them 2 life every time any creature dies. So that card is super threatening. Okay, so Swift Spear and Skewer here. I mean, just play another Swift Spear and get in for damage. I don't think I Skewer the face. I mean, I don't know how many kind of mid-range creatures they have in that kind of deck, or if it's all about the Vein Ripper. I feel like I just hold on to this, though. Let us see what MTG Goldfish says. Oh yeah, they've got the Fable of the Mirror Breaker, so we could Skewer the Goblin Shaman to keep them off some mana, which is a pretty big deal. So I think I am going to do that here. This should have haste after this, right? No, it was all enchantments. Well, that's a bummer. Still definitely play it. But yeah, keep them off that mana feels pretty good. Off of the treasure token there. Or off of the trade on blocks. Oh yeah, Smuggler's Copter got unbanned. The Blood Tithe Harvester, that's just going to trade on blocks, leave them a blood token for later. Light up the stage, that's the big one. If I do it now, I buff Lava Runner and Swift Spear, but I have significantly less mana available. But then they could eat something without losing a creature. That feels like a big enough deal to light up right now. They have to lose a creature on blocks. Soulscar and a Skewer, so we can Skewer post-combat. They have to trade or they're dead. And then I can just Skewer them next turn. Actually might be worth skewering now, because if I top deck a land, Ramunap Ruins kills them. I think I thought of that like 1 second too late. I think I'd probably Skewer the face in the future. 1 life against a Ramunap Ruins is huge. Alright, so here's Vein Ripper probably, right? Vein Ripper doesn't have lifelink though. Technically, so they're still dead if they don't have removal to go with it. Oh, hello there. Whenever a creature dies, target opponent loses 2 and you gain 2. So I Skewer because it's sorcery speed and save the Wizard's Lightning. Then I attack with everybody, and if they try to removal spell, I Wizard's Lightning, but if they don't, then they just die before their trigger resolves. Okay, they die before their trigger resolves. Cool. Alright, we get to start off 1-0 against Rakdos Vamps here. Probably a matchup that gets scarier after they sideboard, though. So let's see. Against Rakdos Vampires. +2 Tears of Valakut. This is rough, because this is the worst For the difference between Explorer and Pioneer, the worst difference in matchup, in full-on Pioneer, Tears of Valakut is a 2-mana sorcery that deals 5 to a creature, deals 5 to a flyer and can't be countered. So it can kill the Vein Ripper without having to pay the ward cost of sacking a creature, but that isn't printed on Arena yet. So this deck is actually weaker on Arena than in paper Pioneer because we don't have that Tears of Valakut yet, and that is recommended to sideboard in this matchup, but instead we just have more Witchstalker Frenzies, which can kill the Vein Ripper, but we have to sack a creature. So we throw in 4 Witchstalker Frenzy, 2 Case of the Crimson Pulse to grind out long games after they throw spot removal at our cheap creatures, and since they're so good at throwing spot removal at our cheap creatures, we drop 4 Monstrous Rages, and because they're on low creature count, I guess, is probably the justification, we drop Triple Skewer, plus they're harder to play. So, yeah, 4 Witchstalker, Frenzy, 2 Case. Oh, we drop Double Skewer, we keep 1 in. The one thing I don't like about this article is that Reid Duke has the full sideboard guide of exactly what to cut and what to put in, but doesn't explain why, and I am very stupid, so I don't know exactly why on all of these decisions, but I know that I'm going to follow Reid's recommendations. I'm just assuming on the reasons that we're throwing things in and cutting certain things. I know for sure Tears of Valakut is to get rid of Vein Ripper, and I know for sure that we don't have Tears of Valakut on Arena. Snap Keep right there. Forced Mulligan. One-landers are still real risky, but we're on the draw with both. I was gonna say both light up the stage in case the Crimson Pulse for card draw, but case doesn't matter till we have 3 lands drawn. So we have light up the stage, we try to cast off of hitting them with a Swift Spear, and if the Swift Spear dies and we hit another mana, we can still Kumano plus light up. It's still risky. Might have to mulligan to 5. I feel like that's so low on gas, low on action, it's so unlikely to have enough burn to get there. I'll mull to 5. Keep. The Lava Runners are a lot bigger later, so we just go Swift Spear, show off, light up. I think only 1 spell for the Lava Runners. Alright. Hello, Fatal Push. Goodbye, Swift Spear. Blood Tithe Harvester. They can sack that to trade into a Swift Spear or a Slick Shot Show Off. I can threaten to have a Prowess card here, but a Prowess would still be a 2-3 getting blocked by a 3-2, so I think they would just snap block if I sent in here. The only thing that would blow them up would be if I had a Monstrous Rage. It would be only 1 card that would make them not want to block on the attack, so I think they would just play around it. So I think we just plot a show off. Plotting it because they have like the literal onboard removal to kill it if I just play it. Not to mention they are a deck that is loaded with spot removal. Case of the Crimson Pulse, that's pretty cool. I think I am on light up the stage here though. So we show off and Swift Spear. I'm playing my land pre-combat so I can threaten having tricks and stuff. That might be wrong. Maybe it's better to just not do that so I can play lands off light up the stage, as always. It probably would be better. Let's see. If we hit land, we get punished. But we didn't. Play with Fire the Harvester so they can't kill the Swift Spear with it. I don't mind that. They don't have much better targets for the Play with Fire, right? They could get the good Goblin token later. About it. Let's just get that thing out of here. tons of mana up, and they pass. I don't have a wizard on board, so I don't hate case discard lightning to draw 2. Do I do that pre-combat, though? Probably. I guess I'm threatening a lot more by attacking, and I actually have a burn spell if something weird happens, like they try to flash something in. I guess the hive they can't afford to block with. Pre-combat also means hitting for 1 more damage, though. And if they have any interaction, they're just going to use it. It's my only threat left. Yeah, sure. That's fine. Okay. Solves in the end step, right? Yeah. So we play Sokenzen and the show off, and hopefully something else that costs 3 or less. Uh-oh. Well, if they put a Vein Ripper into play, Soren's only got 1 loyalty, and I could maybe kill it with show off if I can kill the Vein Ripper, but we didn't draw any of our ways to kill the Vein Ripper, so it's probably GG. We did draw the play with fire. That's kind of exciting. We have to sack a creature to target this, so I can't even pretend I can kill it with the show off. Alright, I'm going to still get the Case of the Crimson Pulse active here, but we can't do anything with show off. I can't attack in, they just know I can't kill it. They have no cards left to target it or anything. So let's solve our case. See what it finds. I'm not going to block, force them to use removal on the show off.
After 1,000, my goons will make quick work of you. A new Kong.
Okay. So Obnixilis is dead. Just from playing Kamana Faces Kakazan. I don't think I can attack with both show-offs at 10 life. Attack for 7 here. If they play a land, they activate Hive and attack for 10 and I die. So I don't think I can attack with double show-off. So I play one just for blocks. But still attack with one of them, right?
How dare you destroy what I've built?
I'm dead to removal if I attack with one. They removal spell or show off, drain me for 2, I'm at 8, they hit for 7. No, I'm not dead to removal spell, unless it also, like, sacks the devil or something. Post-combat. Big attack with Hive, yep. Forces a block. And I can't block in a way where I save the show off, or else I'm dead. Because I could block the devil, but then the Vein Ripper kills me. I have to chump. And we have to draw just crazy off of the case. So they're at 17 now, because Vein Ripper goes brr. Well, 3 attacking creatures, right? There's 3 attacking creatures. I go colorless, colorless, 1/1, activate. 3 attacking creatures sack a goblin token. But then I have no blocks when they counterattack with the Hive of the Eye Tyrant to kill me, so I still die. Oh, it's so close. Well, how much damage could I do, though? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. If I shoot it all at their face. Well, I get to kill the Vein Ripper to send a message and then die to Hive of the Eye Tyrant, I guess. Because we don't lethal here. Yeah. Alright. Well, this doesn't actually get cheaper for the Goblin because it didn't declare an attack this turn. It hit the board tapped and attacking, so I don't even get to hold up the Play with Fire here. If I get drained down to 2, then I die. Yeah. Maybe they'll somehow make a giant misplay. And let me Witch Stalker for 1 and survive. Probably not, though. Since I know I can't survive the Crackback if I just Frenzy right now. Yeah, so here, like, they did attack with 3 creatures, so I can Frenzy for only 1 mana, but then I can't survive because the Vein Ripper trigger. I guess even without it here. Yeah. It is just really, really hard to beat the Resolved Vein Ripper. That is certainly the card of the matchup. We could try to play Verocidons, but the problem is that this matchup, they have so much removal that playing 3 mana creatures that then die to their like 1 and 2 mana removal. Like the Verocidons they could just easily deal with. And even with the Verocidon board, they still have a gigantic flyer, even if they don't gain the life off of it. And yet again, I'm just gonna go with Reid's recommendations on sideboarding here. And let's run it back, hope for the best in game 3. All right, here we are on the play for game 3. Double Kamana Phases Kakazan, double show off. It means I'm going to have to just slam down the show offs, no plot involved, because we need to get the +1/+1 counters on them, ideally. But, alright, it's big numbers. If their hand is not loaded with removal, but it probably is. Let's see. Kill this one. Ooh, alright. Got 2 damage off of this show off. 2 damage it is. Top deck land would have been pretty awesome there. Able to play another show off and a Kumano. Play a Lava Runner and a Kumano. Or I can plot the show off. I don't love plotting the show off. I think I'm just going to play Lava Runner Kumano, even with no prowess trigger here. Plus no haste from Lava Runner. Yeah, it's awkward. Oop. There's the Sorin. Creature of the Schism. I am considerably happier with that than I would have been with a Vein Ripper, because now our turn is insanely good. Go. Team. Go. 1 mana, kill the Preacher. Kill the Sorin as well, and they're down to 8.
Darkness will always return.
Dusk Legion Zealot, they go down to 7 to draw a card. They do find the removal for the show off. But that's 6 damage on board, and if we top deck a land for the Ramunap Ruins, they're super dead. think I just make them dead to top deck land for ramming up ruins and we kill the Zealot. Instead of holding that for a potential Witch Stalker. Or a Witch Stalker, a Vein Ripper. Because, like, if they sword into Vein Ripper, they just die on board anyway. We just need to hit a land for Ramanap. It's not a land for Ramanap. Oh, please. Okay, Blood Tithe Harvester. Land. Sorin. They can gain life off that, can't they? Yeah, deal 3 to a target and gain 3. Any target as well, so even if I didn't play the Soul Scar Mage, they could have shot me in the face, and it's just a turn off. Let's see you deal with a 5/5 Giganta. Land was 1 turn off from killing them. Five is still big. I need to find something that can kill a 5/5 now. Vein Ripper can trade into a 5/5. And Fable can chump it. Oh. God, this is bad. Can Witch Stalker the Goblin Shaman so they trade with Gigantha or go back down to 2? But then they could just sack Vein Ripper, drain me. No, they could even activate a Hive and sack it, right? Oh, it has to be a Vampire to sack. Yeah, I mean, we 100%, we Witch Stalker the Shaman. They're at 6, attack with Gigantha. I think it has to be at the face here. Put them in Ramanap Ruins reach. Or in reach of Ramanap Ruins. Card 1, draw 1. Oh, right. Sorin gives lifelink on the plus? That's my bad. So we had to attack Sorin there? Oh, that's so close to lethal again. But they just chump with a Hive. They chump with a Hive. Oh my god. Brutal. I don't see a way to lethal here, but I can kill Sorin this turn. So if I killed Sorin instead last turn, they'd be at like 6 or 7 instead of 8, and the Vein Ripper would be 6 power instead of 7 power. But I guess it doesn't actually change the outcome that much. They would just let Sorin die. We would have taken 1 less damage. Yeah, I mean, they just chump and kill me next turn. I feel like this is like our 3rd loss in a row that was just like 1 land away from winning the game. It's such a bummer. But maybe we missed something somewhere where we could win these games, because again, I'm not super familiar with this format and with these cards. Crazy ending. And that's going to do it for the event. 2 and 3 it will be. We still got a couple wins. Still got revenge against the Amalia deck, which was super sweet. And yeah, took down some opponents in a super competitive event in a format that I completely avoid, so I will take that. I will grab my extra gems and get right back to drafting some more. So that is our peek inside the Explorer format with this Qualifier Weekend event. I am sure some more experienced players could have won one or two of those losses, maybe turned the record around and had a chance of still competing towards the 7 wins, but I'm perfectly happy taking a few extra gems so we can get right back into what I enjoy, which is drafting some more decks. But that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed this video and are interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you some more in your recommended feed. If you'd like to catch me live, you can check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below. And if you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. But other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.